Family Cade, and this is Vinny. Today we are taking a look at a couple of ways that you can help out on this upcoming Day of Giving, which is this Tuesday, November the 30th. It's always the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Today we're going to be talking about one of the other programs that your donations or your suggested donations to other people can help out in a nonprofit organization. And joining us today is Heather Davis, who is the clinical director at the Adult Autism Center, and Sarah Buchanan, who's a clinical director at the Pingree Center. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. So Day of Giving is a way that people can say, okay, I just spent a whole ton of money on Black Friday, and boy, I've got some extra money left over, and to offset the effects of this rampant consumerism that we've been expecting, we can help out a nonprofit organization like the Adult Autism Center or the Carmen B. Pingree Center. And there are some needs here that I don't think a lot of people are aware of when it comes to autism services. So how can people help? What do these donations help with?
So we often request donations for iPads, and the reason that we want iPads at our center is because we use those for communication with our clients. And so a lot of the individuals that we work with maybe are nonverbal or don't have effective functional communication skills. And so we're so lucky in this day and age that there's so many apps and different ways that we can use the iPads for the individuals that we work with to help them communicate effectively. And that really helps lead to a more independent and fulfilling life. So it's a pretty critical skill and need.
Now, those skills are picked up at the Carmen B. Pingree Center, but that carries over to the Adult Autism Center that we just opened this past April, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we continue in improving functional communication at the AAC. We use iPads, and many of our clients even use sign language, but we try to direct that back to the iPad so that everyone in their environment can understand what they're saying. Oftentimes, if you just rely on sign language, we don't always know the exact signs. So we really try to use the PEX boards that are available on the iPads, and that allows them to push the picture and then easily tell us what they want. So it decreases the frustration for the clients and the staff and helping to immediately recognize their communication requests so that we can continue to expand those opportunities.
Now, growing up a science fiction nerd, I watched a lot of Star Trek, and they had this universal translator, so no matter where you went, you could understand what everybody was saying. And in a way, this iPad is like a universal translator for people who might have barriers with communication, isn't it?
Yes, it allows our clients to take this device with them out in the community, in the center, into the home, and that allows for everyone in their environment to have the same communication system and the same expectations. So at home, they would use the same device, but you can change the board out to be more familiar with items that are available in their home, where we have a board maybe at Pingree that is specific to what the clients need there or AAC, but then when we're out in the community, they can also have a different board that recognizes those needs.
Oh, fantastic. So the question that gets asked all the time, I know that we've had iPads secured for the AAC and for the Pingree Center. Why do we need more iPads?
It's a great question. Many of the individuals that we work with here at the Pingree Center, and I know also at the Adult Autism Center, display pretty significant challenging behavior. And so although we work really hard on those communication skills, which help reduce that challenging behavior, there are definitely times where we see impulsive and aggressive behavior targeted towards objects. And so sometimes what that means is that iPads get broken and they get damaged. And typically replacement of screens and repair of that is more costly than purchasing or getting a new iPad.
And I know those things are engineered to survive impacts and whatever else, but if you've got a frustrated 14-year-old who really wants a hamburger and not chicken tenders, that's frustrating. I mean, even as an adult, I get frustrated when something like that doesn't come. Okay, so let's talk about one of the other aspects of a way that this Day of Giving can help out with, and that's the communication programs that we load onto the iPad. And I was fascinated with this. We had a Pingree Center training a few months back where we talked about some of the communication programs that we have on the iPads now. And this stuff has changed, I think, the way that we can communicate with folks with autism in ways that I couldn't imagine 30 years ago when I was working with kids. I mean, we just had those little hand-drawn picture charts. Those were fine. But I'm seeing some of these programs now where it's almost like they're able to talk a little bit. If they are nonverbal, they're able to actually get some words out. And I love that. So can we talk about those programs? This is like next level stuff for me to see this.
Absolutely. There are a variety of different apps that have the built-in voice output ability, which is so critical. So some of them are Proloquo. We use Cough Drop at Pingree, and that's a web-based program. It's really incredible. You mentioned the line drawings and kind of the basic pictures that you used to see. It is so user-friendly and simple to take actual photographs, upload them. You can change the voice to match the individual. So maybe it's whatever voice you'd like to have. A parent could even record it, a sibling. So it's really pretty incredible, the ability that we have to provide really meaningful functional communication on these applications.
That's astonishing. And that just carries over into adulthood too, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we can use the same programs here. We do replicate that, but then we can also assist our clients in creating schedules. So maybe they have their schedule on there and we can use the voice output so they know what to expect next, when they're going to work, when they're coming back to the center. So we can utilize and expand those basic programs that we use at Pingree into more adult-like functional communication that is appropriate for our clients here.
Now, the reason why this is a critical need for us during this time of year when we're looking at this Day of Giving that's coming up here is because these programs, even though a lot of times they offer a discount to programs like ours, they're still not free.
Right.
So is there a way, I know we're going to have attached to this video, we're going to have links to ways that you can donate to this cause, and are direct cash donations okay too, or is this just something that just goes directly through this website?
I think we would welcome cash donations as well. That allows us the ability to look at different apps that may be beneficial for the clients that we work with. There are things like timers, like Heather mentioned, visual schedules, mindfulness apps, self-regulation, emotion applications. And so I think kind of beyond just communicating for basic wants and needs and teaching those basic functional communication skills, there's so many other amazing tools that we can use to improve the quality of the individuals' lives that we work with.
And what we have learned over the years is if you do want to donate an actual iPad to one of our centers, then we would need the receipt, because otherwise we aren't able to allow our IT team to link that to our Apple account. So if you would like to make a donation of an actual iPad, that's great. Just make sure that we get the receipt along with that donation.
And that's actually something we should talk about right now with the chip shortage that's going on, because we've used all the platinum in the world, so chips are getting harder and harder to come by. So yeah, if you do have an old iPad laying around the house, if you have an old pad that could be repurposed, or you're looking at upgrading it to something, that is something, of course, if you have that receipt, you could donate that, and that could have a second life helping somebody. We have empathy in this field, but for people listening, just imagine how frustrating it would be if you had a whole list of things that you wanted to get done in a day, but you couldn't express that, or the tools being used to help you express yourself were so primitive that you just couldn't get those words out. And that's what we're doing here at the AAC and at the Carmen B Pingree Center, is we're helping people learn how to express themselves in ways that will give them better lives ultimately. And what I love about the AAC is we're helping people find a vocation in some cases, and that's breathtaking, and I love it. So anything else you wanted to put out there for this?
We're just really excited to continue empowering the individuals we work with and really give them that voice and that ability to communicate and engage with their community.
I love that. Heather and Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this November the 30th turns out. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.